4. The Chase is when the Doctor and his companions discover that a group of time-traveling Daleks have orders to exterminate them, a dangerous chase across time and space follows. This was a fun serial to watch. Has a great story, good suspense, good sets, and some good humor and creatures. We first start out on a barren planet that was once a great ocean, but because of this planet's two suns, it dried out. And these sea creatures live below the sand in caves. The creatures are called Aridians, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, are elegant looking, but unfortunately one can see the cheapness of the costume. I mean really see. At the legs you could see the stitching of the legs. The actors are wearing these leotards and leggings, and it just sticks out like a sore thumb. But the actors did play the alien creatures well and elegantly. After this segment, we are set on a wild chase through space and time. The TARDIS arrives in one place, then quickly sets off before the Daleks arrive in their time machine. And sometimes some funny things happen. One time the TARDIS appears on a boat in the ocean, and then after seeing they can't find the Daleks here, they set off again. When the Daleks arrive, all the crew members on the boat abandon ship, and then the Daleks leave to chase the Doctor. It is then we see that the boat is called the Mary Celeste. Historians will know all about the mystery of the Mary Celeste, and the supposed curse, and that one day the crew just abandoned it for an unknown reason. So this is kind of Doctor Who's explanation as to why the crew abandoned the Mary Celeste. There is one part of this serial that no one likes, and I have to agree. It is just too cheesy. The TARDIS arrives in a gothic mansion inhabited by Dracula and Frankenstein's creature. After the TARDIS leaves, we find out it is just a closed amusement area at a park, and the monsters are just robots. It was just too cheesy and silly and ruined the seriousness of the serial a little, but they made up for it. After that, the Daleks make an identical robot of the Doctor that will infiltrate and kill them all. On the planet Mechanus, there's this jungle of fungi animals everywhere trying to eat our heroes and the Daleks. The robot Doctor infiltrates the group, but is soon discovered, and a fight between the robot and the Doctor occurs. The Doctor wins and kills the robot. Once it is dead, the Doctor says, "I must get a doctor," and walks away. It was very funny. The fight scene between the two was okay and reminded me of the fight scene between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader in Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. The fight was very stiff and slow, but entertaining and understandable since, William Hartnell's an old actor, and as the series progresses, you begin to see the illness that will eventually kill him take hold on him. So, the double playing the robot Doctor looks similar, but obviously one could tell it is another person, and the voice is just a recording that was made earlier. But was good and made situations tense, and was a good attempt at making a twin. Later, the TARDIS crew is brought up to a city above the forest of fungi that is run by these mechanical orbs called mechanoids. The mechanoids are an interesting design and actually have two arms that open up like this. They actually have them in their bodies like this, actually more like this, and they just open up like this a lot to actually move. You can't really articulate with them, it's just like this. And they also have a flamethrower for weapon. Unfortunately, this is the only serial that they are in, and we never see them again, and they never really get to be developed. And there is really nothing really to talk about them other than they can handle things more than Daleks can, since they have two arms. Probably. But the only problem I have with the mechanoids is their speech. Their voice was too low and rattly. It was too hard to make out what they were saying, so subtitles is preferable with them. In the city, we also get to meet Stephen Taylor, an astronaut who crash-landed on the planet and helps them escape. But they get separated, and Stephen is left wandering the forest. At first glance, Stephen is very independent and can handle himself, but we will see more of him in future serials and get a better view of him. And better understanding as well, and more of his character. As our heroes are escaping, the Daleks are fighting the mechanoids, and they battle one another until the city falls to ruin. The editing and the choreography of the fight is pretty well done and was very exciting. In the Force of Fungi, Ian and Barbara decide to use the Dalek time machine to go back home. The Doctor is furious, but reluctantly decides to help them. Much like Susan, he does not want them to go, but sees he must let them go. In this scene, one can really see that William Hartnell is not acting. He is really upset that his friends are leaving. After Ian and Barbara leave, they arrive in London. Not in 1963 when they left with the Doctor, but instead they arrive in 1965. They blow up the time machine and go out to restart their lives again. Although they realize they have to come up with a convincing story for why 2 teachers were gone for 2 years. Back in the TARDIS, the Doctor says he will miss his friends and miss them so much, like he does with Susan. With Vicky, they go on another adventure. Overall, this serial was great and fun, except for the one scene in the Gothic mansion, and we have our second heartfelt goodbye of companions. It is a well-rounded serial and enjoyable. I give it 3 stars out of 5. In the next serial, a new companion joins the team, and a mysterious monk seems to be meddling with a historical moment in time that could change the future forever.